Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you are joining me on my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, tell a friend. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. I appreciate it. All I've ever asked for as a person, as a coach, as an evaluator of talent, as a journalist, is for people to keep that same energy. Yes, that's a popular saying over the last few years, but it's 100% accurate. If you feel this way about this person because they did this, make sure that you feel the same way about everybody that does that same thing. But in the media, we have an extremely hard time doing that. We have an extremely hard time holding everybody to the same standard. We find ways to make excuses for people that we like. We find ways to make excuses for people that we root for. I do it. I do it much less than maybe some others because I recognize that I do it. And I'm asking you to keep the same energy. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I used to karaoke DJ. I love karaoke. Anybody that knows me knows I love singing karaoke. I used to DJ karaoke like 4 times a week, 4 nights a week. Made decent money. I was really good at it. I've thought about having my own business before, like legitimate. I used to karaoke and I used to see people come up and sing songs that had the N-word in it. And I started noticing that some of the people who got up to sing these songs with the N-word in it, they were doing it simply so that they could use the N-word. I got into an argument with a white gentleman who told me, oh, well, you guys say it all the time. And at the time, I used to use the N-word. However, I didn't use it like in everything that I said. It wasn't the ultimate adverb or adjective or noun, pronoun. Like I didn't use it all the time, but I did use it. I didn't think he had a point. I wanted to eliminate any point that he could have. So I stopped using the N-word. In songs that had the N-word, I would use other words. Whenever talking, I never referred to anyone by the N-word. This was almost 10 years ago. So anytime I hear you, person that should not be using the N-word, say the N-word, I wish a mofo would tell me. But you guys use it. You know what my response is to them? I don't use it. So because I don't use it, your ass ain't using it. And that's how we get beyond that. I kept the same energy. I didn't want you using it. I thought it was wrong that you used it. So guess what? I no longer use it. What's so hard about this theory in everything that we do? I don't hit women. I don't want you hitting women. If you hit a woman, I've got a problem with you. I keep the same energy. People have an issue with Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, who is one of the original self-promoters of sports, one of the original beat my chest, and he had a legitimate reason. Deion Sanders played a position, if you can look at the money, even today, for what a cornerback is asked to do, the wide receiver can get a $100 million contract. When was the last time you saw a cornerback get one? The wide receiver gets all of these accolades. The cornerback gets beat one play, and that's all you see on SportsCenter. They could shut a wide receiver down 10 passes. They allow that wide receiver to catch 5 of those 10 passes for 30 yards. The 6th pass that they give up, for 50 yards, 60 yards. All of a sudden you look up, they say that wide receiver had a great day. Well, that wide receiver had 100 yards. He had a great day. Never mind the 7 times he got locked down. So, of course, Deion Sanders looking to maximize his star, maximize the amount of money that's going to be generational wealth for his family. He created primetime. And as he created primetime and allowed that to germinate, he began to get haters. Haters from his own people. His own people going, oh, he's too flashy. Oh, he's trying to make it all about himself. Oh, he doesn't care about the team. Oh, he's selfish. All of the things that I heard about Deion his entire life, none of it made any sense to me because I watched the man play football. And to a man, anybody that ever played football with Deion Sanders would tell you there is nothing selfish about the way Deion Sanders played football, other than maybe the fact that he didn't want to tackle people. Okay. You got me there. Maybe he was selfish. He dove at people's legs instead of squaring them up and having 240-pound running backs run him over. Yeah, he was selfish. So now Deion Sanders, post-career, tries to open up schools and help young men and mentor young men and make sure that they are able to take advantages of all of these things that he took advantage of. And eventually it brings him to Jackson State. And all he receives is negative backlash from the very people that he's supposed to be there to help. Just for the record, these are not white people that are coming for Deion Sanders' neck. You hear white people make reference of Deion Sanders getting a lot of pub, but they're not writing op-ed pieces on it. They're not writing columns on it. They're not Karan Phillips, who essentially puts a piece in Deadspin where he blasts Deion Sanders. Oh, you don't really care about the kids. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Deion Sanders is all about himself. That's why this one example of a kid that was unhappy with going to his school, and this one example of this young man who was unhappy going to or playing for his football team, or this example of these players who decided to transfer because his son is going to be the starting quarterback. His son, who's a 4-star prospect coming to an HBCU, a 4-star prospect, that quarterback going to an HBCU, deciding that he's going to go with a 4-star prospect over guys that he's seen play the game and go, they're not to the level I want them to be. Okay, fine. Keep that same energy. Where's the op-ed piece? Where's the op-ed piece for Clemson football and Dabo Swinney? Because at every turn, Dabo has shown that he's not about the black players on his team. He doesn't sympathize with their plight. He doesn't get down with their get down. At every turn, he's been on the opposite side of them. He had a black quarterback who had paid his dues in his program, but he had a white guy on the bench that was a 5-star #1 recruit in the nation. He decided to go with the better prospect, but at that time, he couldn't say was the better player. He went with the better prospect. That's all Deion Sanders did. He's going with the better prospect. That prospect happens to be his son, but it's a 4-star quarterback, not a retread, a guy who who was going to the HBCU to start with. I don't have any issues with him gifting that kid the job. We see it happen all over the place. How many times have we seen true freshmen, 4- and 5-star athletes just come in and get a job? Why are we acting surprised when it's Deion Sanders? Keep that same energy. If you're going to talk about people not caring and only caring about themselves, why can't anybody talk about the fact that Nick Saban's getting 10 plus millions of dollars to coach a team full of future NFL players while they get nothing? Why is it every time a troubled coordinator, former coach comes to Alabama to be a coordinator? Why is it they say, well, Nick Saban runs the best rehabilitation program in America? No, he doesn't. Nick Saban has the best talent. So it doesn't matter who you put in there at offensive coordinator, they're going to get the job done. You want to know how I know? Because every offensive coordinator that they've put in that position has gotten the job done. And look what they did outside of Lane Kiffin. Look what they've done since they left. They have not had the same level of offensive success. So is the reclamation project because of Nick Saban, or is the reclamation project because he has all the great players? Why is it different for Deion? Why is he held to a higher standard? Don't hold him to a higher standard. Hold him to the same standard. Now, if they go out there next year and they underachieve with all of this talent, now, okay, you know what? Criticize him as a coach, not because he's Deion Sanders. Take shots at him as a coach, not because he's Deion Sanders. Keep that same energy everywhere. Because if I have to hear another Karan Phillips throw his own people under the bus for some clicks on Deadspin, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind. We have to have more pride in ourselves than that. We have to have more. We have to have a higher sense. Why not ask to go to sit down with that man? What did Deion Sanders do to you, Karan? How did he make your world worse, Karan? What was the reason for you to need to blast that man in a way to bring up all of the times that he fell short of his ultimate goal without ever showing any of the successes? All the young men that this man has put in college, all of the young men who he's advised and never asked a dime from. Deion Sanders don't need no money. Deion Sanders ain't hurting. Deion Sanders didn't take the Jackson State job because he needed the money. Deion Sanders, probably in an honest moment, wanted the Florida State job. You know what he could have done at Florida State? The same thing he's doing at Jackson State, giving young black men the opportunity to work and be under somebody who understands the game and is going to give it to them in a way like a father figure, like an uncle figure, not just as somebody using them to win games. Florida State got rid of Uncle Willie because Uncle Willie cared and he was probably a little bit too friendly with the players. You brought in a disciplinarian who ran off guys immediately. Oh, well, they're not seminal material. Those same people who had those same issues when Willie Taggart was willing to try to keep working with them, zero tolerance for the next coach. Where's that same energy? Every time I look around, the hypocrisy of people in the media when they have their agenda is hilarious to me. Looking back on it, when I've been guilty of it, I laugh at myself. The difference is I'm willing to admit it. I'm willing to admit it. Also, the difference, it doesn't really happen to me that often. I'm not boosting people higher than they need to be just because I like them. I'm not bringing people below where they need to be just because I don't like them. I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan. Should he be a starting quarterback in the NFL? Absolutely. Is he like the savior? Is he like a guy who's going to win Cleveland an NFL championship? Excuse me, a Super Bowl? Absolutely not. It won't be because of him. And when they had their biggest success, it wasn't because of him. I never said the man was awful. I said that man is not someone who's going to carry a team. I've been right. Now, it might look like hate because people think I don't like him or because I'm riding for Lamar Jackson. But the truth is, it's just the truth. I mean, it's just the truth. The facts back it up. The stats, you can make the stats say anything you want because Baker Mayfield's arrived as the quarterback. Lamar Jackson still has stuff to prove. Yet when you look at their stats, hello, keep that same energy. That's all I've asked. That's all I'll ever ask. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing 2 times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, tell a friend. I'll see you next time. Peace.